Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Kenny, and this is Scandal Season 7, Episode 12. And the name of this episode is Allow Me to Reintroduce Myself. I'm sorry this review is late. I actually live in Washington, D.C., and I actually we had a windstorm, and my power was out for 2 days. So I'm glad to be back. I haven't forgotten about you guys, and I'm happy to give you this review because, man, TGIT, was living on Thursday night. I was living from both Scandal and How to Get Away with Murder, how, they merged, the characters together. We seen Olivia running things on Scandal with Annalise, and then we seen How to Get Away with Murder, and we seen Olivia with Annalise again. Like, it was everything. And I say this crossover, definitely there were a lot of shockers and a lot of twists that had started to play out, and I was so here for all of it. So, this is Scandal. Let me introduce myself. So it opens up, the actual class that it ended on the last episode of How to Get Away with Murder, where she actually goes to this class where she actually sees Olivia Pope is now working as a professor, and pretty much the concept is how to survive a scandal. And, she's asking the class questions, how you survive a scandal, pretty much about truth being your greatest weapon and using quick decisions. But then Annalise, it says that, one of the fatal, because she pretty much asks, what is the biggest mistake that people make in a scandal or in a crisis? What is the biggest mistake? Annalise answered, not knowing that they're in a crisis. So that's the biggest mistake that a lot of people make. They don't realize they're in a crisis, and they think they got options when they need to make quick decisions and they need to be on it. And, that struck Olivia. So pretty much Annalise approaches Olivia, lets her know about the Class A case that was shut down by the state of Pennsylvania, and she wants her to help her take it to the Supreme Court. And she pretty much said, well, Olivia at first was like, good luck with that. And she's like, luck is if you get a cereal with marshmallows. I need your help. She's saying that, look, this is not just about the U.S. and the White House. This is about politics and justice. And this country's in a crisis, and maybe together we can fix this. So we see that going on. Then we see Quinn is working with, TPA, because, Quinn and Charlie are now back with baby Robin. So we see that she's talking to Huck and Abby. They like telling her about the logistics of the day. She is just scrolling on her computer, reading about Olivia. It's like, she's like, yeah, I'm hearing you, but I'm not paying attention to you. I'm worried about what I'm doing right now. Because we still see that she still has this revenge, vendetta against Olivia after what happened. So she still wants to take Olivia down. And then she brings it up. She's teaching at a college. And I'm like, okay, she's moved on, and maybe we should too. Because Abby's like, okay, we don't really give a damn, but she's dead set on getting Olivia back for the fact that she was put in the situation with Rowan, and the fact that she was doing everything she could to stop her because she found out the truth about Olivia blowing up that plane. So then we actually see that Olivia talks to Marcus, because she was kind of like, this Annalise Keating, like, she approached me about this class action case. Marcus knew all about Annalise. She's like, oh yeah, she's like, one of the best public defenders in Pennsylvania, and she's trying to lead this class action case. Yeah, I'm all for it. And she's a beast. She's like one of the best lawyers in Philadelphia, in Philadelphia and all, so yeah, I know all about her. So he said, so you mean to tell me that So he's saying, so you know a lot about her. So have you guys looked into her? And she said, yeah, we've even looked into, into her class action case, me and Fitz, but we kind of put it off because we had other things that was going on. We just haven't had the time to really focus on it. But she's saying that, look, but then Marcus is saying that, look, this is a great case, though. I mean, the fact that a lot of black rights are being violated and people weren't given a fair trial just because they were black and they were poor, So pretty much, she's like, well, that's just it. I'm not in the game anymore, And he's like, yeah, you're right. You're a school teacher now. And she's saying that, you know what? If that's how you feel, Marcus, then why do you keep coming back here? Why do you keep messing with me, huh? Why are you dealing with me? And he says it's because you're black. And he says, we're black. So I'm always going to be here for you, and I'm always going to root for you. That shut Olivia up. So I'm like, you go, Marcus. That's what's up. So she decides to look into Annalise's case, and pretty much she goes to Annalise and says that, look, it's a great case, but the problem is you can't be the face. You're a hot mess. You got a lot of stuff going on, and you just can't be the face of this case. But the case is a good case, though. And so pretty much, she said that, so pretty much Annalise was like, it was funny. I thought you were Olivia Pope. I thought your job was to move mountains. And she's like, have a safe trip back to Philadelphia. And Annalise slammed the door in her damn face like, bitch, get the fuck out of here. We ain't got time for that. So, next thing you see, Olivia knocks on the door again. And she's like, let me make this perfectly clear. This is my town, my game, my rules. And that's the way it's going to be across the board. Do we understand each other? And she's like, understood. So, yeah, so Annalise, put that fire under her, so she's going to fight the case. So pretty much, we see that Marcus and Olivia go to see Fitz, but Fitz is mad as hell at Olivia, and he don't want to see her. But, Marcus is like, look, don't tell him that I told you to come here because he don't want to see your ass, but good luck. Go talk to him and see what's good. So they go talk, and he's pretty much very dismissive. He's like, how can I help you? And she's saying, like, I need your help with this class action case. And she's like, oh, yeah, I know all about it. But it's funny, Olivia Pope asking me for help, me of all people. And she's like, look, I didn't come here for your forgiveness. I know you don't like me, but don't you think it's criminal that people are right now serving time in prison and they were pushed to make deals all because of what they were born into and due to the fact that they did not have effective counsel to actually fight for their rights? I'm talking about, getting rid of the American dream. I'm talking about getting rid of the American nightmare and giving everybody the American dream. I'm asking you to help. And it's a good thing she said that because I actually offer, legal representation. I'm a senior associate with Legal Shield and ID Shield. Check out that link in the description box. So if you are looking for legal coverage as well as protection from identity theft, definitely check out my website and get in touch with me in all my social platforms. I'd love to talk to you about it because I definitely want to liberate us to actually defend ourselves whenever we're dealing with a tough situation, that we actually have legal counsel right there at our fingertips, right there on our trusty old phone. So yeah, look into that. So we see that going on. Then we get a scene where they all come together. So we see that Michaela is pretty much now working alongside Annalise because it was her idea for her to take it to the Supreme Court to Olivia Pope. So Michaela's on the team, and we see that Marcus is working with Olivia. So they're all coming together, and we see that Fitz comes to meet with them, and he says that, look, I've actually taken this over President Grant. She's going to look into this case and see that does it have the potential to go to the Supreme Court. So, and of course, you can definitely see that Fitz and Olivia is looking at each other because we know from the last episode that, Millie and Olivia are not on good terms. So they go to meet Millie in the Oval. You can definitely tell there's tension between Millie and Olivia, and she pretty much says, you know, this case is great, but now is not the time to actually try this case. We can wait till like a year or so, and then we can look at it when we have more effective counsel and all that. So pretty much, you know, even David Rosen was even trying to argue it, like, look, we can do this now. Like, we don't literally, I mean, yeah, we got effective counsel now. Why not just go with this? But she's like, no, I'm going to play this smart. This, you know, this case can go completely down the tubes if we don't do this right. But Olivia's clocking it like, nah, Millie, you doing this bullshit because you got a personal agenda. And we know that Millie's known to do this shit. She caves into her emotions. So she pretty much says, so pretty much Olivia's like, everybody out. You know, let me talk to the Madam President alone. You know, so pretty much she's saying that, so pretty much Olivia addresses Millie like, look, I know, she's saying like, look, if you was going to be dismissive and not try this case, why did you even bother to meet me? And she says, well, I did it as a favor to Fitz. And she said, and then Olivia said that, look, do not use this to punish me. And she says that, so why did you bring this to me? Because she says, I think this would be a break, but then, you know, Olivia says, well, the reason why I bother you because I think this will be a break on something that you should want. You know, liberation for everybody, legal representation for everybody. But then, there you go, Millie flips it on Olivia. No, you want this because you need a win. You are so urgent to get this going now because you need a win because you have been destroyed and you kind of like just are stuck with a little teaching gig, you know. And she says, well, go ahead, deny it, lie to my face, like you haven't already done that before. Go ahead, tell me that it ain't true. And pretty much Olivia says, well, this is going to the Supreme Court with or without you. And she says, well, if you do this, you will be an adversary to the White House. And Olivia's like, it won't be the first time. And got her purse and walked up out of there. And Millie was looking simple as shit. And I'm like, yeah, that's what you get, Millie. Because everybody's saying, because the one thing I noticed in this episode, everybody was saying that Olivia was about herself. And Olivia was about getting what was right. You know, that Olivia is just all about getting her name back in life, and she's all about herself. When yet, everybody was self-serving. Olivia, I think, was the only one that was really trying to do this because she really cares about, you know, seeking justice and seeking, you know, fair representation of all of these people that have been incarcerated, you know, just because they didn't have effective legal counsel and they had pretty much public defenders. But it seemed to me that everybody has a vendetta against Olivia, and they're letting that cloud their judgment. So then, because the funny thing I mentioned that because after this, we see that Jake goes to meet Quinn, and pretty much, you know, she talks about, you know, Liv's case and that, you know, she's working with Annalise Keating, you know, to try the Supreme Court. And he's saying that, look, you guys can get in the middle of this. I mean, you know, you're talking about her trying to find a win. Maybe you can stop her from winning. So Jake also has a personal vendetta against Olivia, and so does Quinn. So then we see that here it is, Olivia and Annalise are... So pretty much, we see that Olivia meets up with Annalise, and, you know, so Annalise is asking, so what did President Grant say? And, you know, she's saying she didn't go with, she's not going to do it. So Annalise like, you Olivia Pope, bitch, what the fuck you mean she's not doing it? Like, are you telling me that you're not as effective as you say you are? Like, what the hell? And she pretty much flipped it on Annalise live and was like, no. She didn't take it because of your past. You didn't think that she didn't have you screened before you came to her office. She made a decision before you even opened your mouth. And I'm like, Olivia, you mean bitch, because you know damn well it had nothing to do with Annalise as to why she said no. And then she says, you know, so then we see Olivia going off. She's like, she's impossible. Oh my God, you know, going off about Annalise. And she's like, look, she's not impossible, and it's not Annalise's fault. You know, if anything, I'll try to talk to Melly and see if I can change her mind. But then Olivia gets the idea. We might not need Melly. Let's go to the press with this ourselves. So we see that she goes on a press campaign with, you know, and she's leading up, you know, this fight, you know, to that we need to bring this class action suit, you know, to the Supreme Court. And that, you know, we have to correct injustice. But then we see that QPA, Quinn and Associates, they're now working, you know, to try to sabotage Olivia's fight, you know, for the class action suit. They're pretty much going to all of the judges and all these, and if anything, they say that we get 4 judges that stands against her, then we win this and we stop her dead in her tracks. And they're all kind of looking at this like, Quinn, you're literally operating off of some personal shit. And she is. You know, because here it is, you're standing in the way of these individuals who have been ripped off by the legal system that's supposed to serve and protect them. You're pretty much saying, fuck them, it's about me taking down Olivia, and it's about Olivia in her tracks, but yet Olivia is doing something great, because Annalise is doing something great. So, we see that go on, but then we also see that Marcus and Michaela, they getting real cozy with each other, because they was both trying to talk to this judge. She goes into the bathroom, and then Michaela's like, hold tight, and goes over there like, I'm going to get her on our side. So, and then we see that Abby and, you know, they're going to all the other judges, and then they have this one judge, I think his name is Judge Spence. He's the only one, and he's usually like a swing, he's kind of like a swing, he can go either way. So now, so pretty much now they see that, okay, he's the one that we need to focus on. So let's try to see what we can do to get him to either, you know, we have to see to make sure that he doesn't get on Olivia's side, because without 4 judges on it, you know, the Supreme Court's not even going to look at it. So they're trying to stop her on that end. So then we get a scene with Olivia and Annalise, and they're talking about, you know, trying to do this interview to try to sway Spivey, that's his name, Spivey, the judge. They're trying to get to sway him on their end, and, you know, both Michaela and Marcus are in the room, and Annalise says that she wants to do the interview, and she's saying that, look, they're going to bring up your past, they're going to railroad the hell out of you. I don't think it's a good idea. She's like, look, I'm tired of hiding the truth. The truth is our greatest weapon. But then she says that, but sometimes the truth can be unpredictable. It's like, oh yeah, just like your meeting you had with President Grant. Like, Annalise was like not here for Olivia's bullshit. She was like, nah, bitch, the shit didn't pop off, and you just not being real with me. Because for you to be Olivia Pope, being the powerful person that you are, and the president doesn't want to back you on this, yeah, sounds kind of fishy. And Annalise is not letting up on it. So Michaela suggests that you both do the interview. Let Annalise represent her truth, and if they try to go sideways, then Olivia, you counteract and let them know it's not about Annalise's personal life, it's about the life of the citizens that deserve a fair trial. So all of a sudden, Marcus is like, oh, that's exactly what I was gonna say. I'm like, oh shit. So obviously I see that there is just instant chemistry with Marcus and Michaela, and it just goes to show that all that shit that went on between her and Asher and How to Get Away with Murder, that's the type of guy she likes. The guy that she was gonna marry, a prestigious, successful black man who's very intelligent and charming. That's exactly what Marcus is, and she is just, we can tell. Her and Marcus definitely got something going on. And I'm going to definitely review How to Get Away with Murder because we find out a lot about them. But yeah, I definitely clicked that. Okay, you kind of getting up really up close and friendly with Marcus, honey. What's going on there? So, so pretty much now we also see at QPA they did a background check on Spidey. They find out Spidey's clean, so they say, okay, fine, let's get dirt on him. Let's stop him dead in his tracks. So then we see Jake and Millie are meeting up because Jake is now Millie's chief of staff. And pretty much she's saying that Olivia wins, and he's like, well, not without the White House in her corner. She's not winning at all. And he's saying that we'll crush her, and pretty much she was saying that so then that damn Millie gets on her high horse and starts talking Cash Money shit like I should have took down Olivia when she had the chance. I let her leave amicably and she resigned, so she still has public favor. But, if I would have really crushed her the way I should have, things would have been different and she wouldn't have all of this, stamina. She wouldn't be able to continue to go on the way she is. But then Jake had to let her know, well, there were circumstances that could have been detrimental to the both of us. And she's like, oh, we could have spun that or whatever. That would have been nothing. I'm like, bitch, you would have lost the presidency if it wasn't for Olivia deciding to resign. Because at the end of the day, your ass would have been impeached if it wasn't for Olivia deciding not to reveal that personal information that she had in that envelope. So you still owe your presidency to Olivia, even though you may feel some kind of way about her. The only reason why your ass is still president is because of Olivia Pope. And Jake knows this shit. Because Jake is intel. He knows everything. So pretty much she comes up with the idea, because she's self-serving too, and so is Jake. They still got this personal vendetta. They're trying to stop Olivia, not realizing they're sabotaging American citizens in their own personal vendetta they have against Liv. So Millie comes up with the idea, okay, let's unleash the reason why what really happened with her leaving the White House, that she was actually fired. and like Jake's like, you're gonna release this from the White House? She's like, oh no, we're not gonna do this from the White House. That would be very petty. But I see you working with our own team. Do they think it's beneath them? And I'm like, oh shit, it's about to go down. So we see that Annalise and Olivia are having some girl time at the hair salon. They're getting their, they're washing press. They're getting their curls. They are getting their hair laid and everything. And while they're sitting there talking it up with their stylist and having a good time, they actually see the news is on, and it's about Olivia. And the story leaks about Olivia was fired from the White House. So immediately, this rings along to Annalise, like, bitch, you lied to me. You said she turned it down because of me. She turned it down because of you. You got some personal shit going on with her, and that's what the hell went on. So they excused the hairstylist and stuff out the room because Olivia had literally bought the whole salon just for the two of them. And pretty much, she was like, so then next, this definitely rubs Annalise the wrong way. And she's like, here it is, I'm thinking that you on this pedestal while you sitting up in there judging me and looking at me all kind of ways and shit. And Olivia's like, I wasn't judging you. She's like, oh, you judged me from the moment you laid eyes on me. You pretty much judged me just like the white men judge me because my skin is too dark or because my hips are too wide. You literally had this very bougie-ass way of looking down on me when you probably spent your whole life going to private schools, Ivy League schools, and having a silver spoon in your mouth. Remember, you said I was a hot mess? So yeah, it seemed to me that, and she says that, oh, trust me, honey, I've dealt with bougie ass black people like you for years, so trust me, I can call it when I see it. And she's saying that here it is, you know, you putting yourself on this pedestal, and now I'm realizing that me and you are just the same. Oh, Olivia was like, oh, we trying to go there, huh? She was like, first of all, your skin tone and your wide hips ain't the reason why nobody want to work with you. They don't want to work with you, Annalise, because you're a bully. You're vicious and you're treacherous, and because of that, you will sabotage people and then get mad when they don't want to help you. But yet, you tend to forget you're the one who brought your broke ass on the mega bus to come down here to ask me to help your ass. So let me reintroduce myself. I am Olivia Pope, and I don't have to explain myself about a damn thing. To least of all you. I was like, oh shit, Olivia! Damn! These two bitches was going at it. I'm like, power heads. So come from two different backgrounds. You know, pretty much, you know, Annalise is like a rags to riches story, whereas Olivia grew up a child of privilege, but they both know they black and they're powerful women, and they squaring it off in the hair salon with rollers in their hair. And you know, she pretty much says, oh, so okay, so you know, while I'm at it, I'll pay for your wash and press with my bougie ass American Express card. She's like, I can pay for my own damn hair. I'm like, they were going back and forth. I'm like, bitch, the megabus though? She was letting her have it like, bitch, you just jealous because you not on my level. You know, I can wear, you know, Saint Laurent and Christian Dior, you know, even though Annalise ain't poor, but she ain't got Olivia kind of money. You know, so that shit was crazy. So then we see David and Abby, you know, just quickly, you know, she's watching the news and everything, and, you know, and David can definitely tell that Abby feels some kind of way because she's like, you do miss her. And she's like, it's okay to miss her. She's like, well, yeah, I miss her, but it doesn't mean I trust her. And they know, and we all found out in this scene that it was QPA that leaked the story about Olivia being fired. So Jake went to Quinn, and Quinn leaked it. So immediately, Olivia knows where the hell it came from because she meets Quinn. And she says, so this is how you doing? You mad at me, so now you just taking it out on innocent people? She's like, look, you know, and she's saying that, and then pretty much, you know, Quinn don't give a fuck about Olivia right now. She's like, now you better get the hell out of my face before I do something that I regret. And she says, you already have. You took a case from the White House, and you will regret this. You know, and you're doing it in the name of revenge. So other people are paying the price because you want to get revenge against me, but this is not the way. And you're going to regret this. And she walked away. You saw Quinn kind of looking simple as hell because Olivia was right. So then we see Olivia and Fitz, you know, they have a go back and forth, and she's pretty much saying that she has problems and, you know, complaining about Annalise, and pretty much, you know, she's like, I'm not in the mood for this fish. And he says, and neither am I. I'm not in the mood for you sitting here trying to diminish this woman when she is not the problem. The problem is you. Where is the Olivia Pope that I knew? Where is she? Because she was always on top of her game. And now you're trying to blame it on somebody else? This is bullshit. What's going on? You know, and she's like, you know, I'm not that girl. And he says that, and she says, but either way, it doesn't matter. He says, it does matter. Because if you're not going to show up as Olivia Pope, you might as well not even show up at all. And then all of a sudden, he starts to look at her, and she says, see, Olivia Pope is still there. I see it. The problem is that everyone else around you doesn't see it. And worse off, you don't see it. And I was like, okay, bitch, I'm feeling you right now. That's what's up. Get it together. So, therefore, you know, We back at QPA, Charlie has found dirt on Spivey, so now they're using that. So now pretty much Quinn is like, okay, fine, now we got something to use, and we're gonna finally stop Olivia dead in her tracks. And you can tell Abby's kind of looking at Quinn like, you getting a little too happy about this shit. Like this ain't cool. But of course she didn't really say so, but she kind of was giving like Quinn that look like you kind of going, you're trying to do too much. And then we see that Quinn goes to meet with Jake, and they exchange information, and pretty much she's saying that so why are you doing this? Is it because of the case? She's like, we all want to stop Olivia Pope, right? Now we've done it. So now it finally dawned on Quinn, yeah, we operate on some personal shit, and what she's doing, we should not be trying to railroad her because she is at least trying to do the right thing, but we're so mad at her, we're just trying to take her down, not realizing we're putting others in jeopardy. So that finally started to click into her head. And then we get the day of the interview. Annalise and Olivia are not talking. They sitting right next to each other, and they both got their noses turned up at each other. And then we see Michaela and Marcus yet again cozy up with each other. So they pretty much, the interview starts. They start asking Olivia about her being fired from the White House. She owns it, and then she says that the only thing I regret is that I lost a lot of great relationships and a lot of people that I cared about. But I'm a fighter, so I always fight back. And, in the fight, I don't regret because I'm a fighter, and sometimes I win and I lose. But I'm still a fighter, and she says, and I'm even sitting next to a greater fighter, Annalise Keating, who's fighting to help many Americans who didn't get a free trial, finally get, a fair trial within a fair, that they will finally get a chance to actually have their cases heard, and that we need to fix the judicial system. Will you help us? So I'm like, she flipped it. So it was like, it pretty much brought them back together. So we see that Olivia and Annalise are kind of celebrate. We see that Olivia got her signature wine and popcorn. Marcus calls Olivia and lets her know that Spidey won't hear the case, and she tells Annalise, I'm sorry, we tried, but we needed that fourth judge, and he won't even come near it, so we just lost. So then we see Michaela and Marcus hanging out, in D.C. or whatever, and she pretty much talks about, man, I thought Philly was bad, but man, D.C. is just as worse, and you got all this crazy shit going on and how the way people are, and she's saying that, look, he pretty much says that, so Marcus tells her that he's been coming to the bar that they're at since he was 16, and she was like, oh wow, good luck for good luck. She's like, well, congratulations for getting out. So they had that connection. They both were poor. They came from humble beginnings, but Bruce says they moved up. And he says that, yeah, it's all great, but it's because of my love for my people is where I am right now. And I don't forget that. I don't forget where I come from, and I don't forget them because they have made me the man I am today. So she sees that he has a good heart. So she's being more and more sucked in. And next thing you know, they was about to kiss. And I was like, ooh! But then she gets a text from Asher. And she pretty much, leaves and runs out. But you can tell she is feeling Marcus. And Marcus is feeling Michaela. So we're going to see what's going to happen with that. Then we actually see that... So then we see that Quinn meets up with Olivia, pretty much gave her the file that they had on Spidey. She says that, look, if you make this disappear, you may actually have a shot with the trial. So finally Quinn has come around, and she's actually threw Olivia a bone. So we see that Olivia meets up with Spidey, and pretty much she said that, hold on. Sorry about that. So we pretty much see that Olivia goes to meet up with Spivey, and pretty much this case involving Spivey, the dirt they had on him was that his son killed a woman in an accident, and he paid the only witness off. And You know, he pretty much says that, look, you know, my son wasn't drunk or nothing like that. He was 16 years old, and I was just trying to protect him. But then they said that, look, the witness died 2 years ago, so they can't hold this over your head anyway, because without her testimony, you know, it's all speculation. So, so pretty much she said that, look, you know, I'm not here to manipulate you. I'm not here to blackmail you. I'm past that. I'm just saying, listen to your conscience and make the best decision, because these people need the best representation, and they were robbed of this. And I just ask that you see that this case is heard, and we actually see that the Supreme Court has agreed to try, you know, Annalise's class action suit. So that's what happened. We see Millie still sided because Millie still got this vendetta. We see that Quinn and Abby are kind of like on good terms now, because she's saying, okay, we're still about QPA. We're about seeking justice, not personal vendettas. And then we see at the end that Olivia and Annalise, you know, decided that they're going to join forces through this fight, you know, with the Supreme Court. So that's where it ended. This was really good, y'all. Sorry if I went too long, but I just wanted to not miss a beat. And if I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. But subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, follow me on all of my social platforms. I have them all listed in the description box. And also check out my website for Legal Shield and ID Shield. You know, I mean, the best thing to do is to get legal representation, and now we're making legal representation more accessible to you. So definitely check out that website. Also, like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I'll be back with the next episode of Scandal. So until next time, everybody, take care.